So it looks like California isn't the only place where they're trying to right the wrongs of the past and give out reparations to Black people. In Illinois, they're doing that. Evanston, Illinois passed a reparations law in 2019 to address the segregation of the past, slavery, and legalized housing discrimination.
2019, Evanston, Illinois passed the first reparations law in American history. It set out to address decades of segregation and legalized housing discrimination. Economics correspondent Paul Solman recently visited the Chicago suburb to follow up on the progress of the program. It's part of our ongoing series, Race Matters.
Evanston Hospital wouldn't accept Black mothers, so my father had to drive me to Cook County Hospital to be born. But as a baby, I came back to the house. My father bought the house in 1930.
88-year-old Lou Weathers' house in Evanston, Illinois, home to a long-standing Black community which comprises some 16% of the city's 75,000 inhabitants, some of whom, like Donna Walker, are still bitter about the past.
I am truly waiting for 40 acres and a mule. A jackass will be fine for me, but just give me some acreage and I'll be okay.
Evanston isn't offering the acreage, but given the persistent and huge wealth and health gaps ever since slavery, it is trying to make amends with a first-of-its-kind reparations project that's spreading.
We had an official side event at the United Nations last week sharing the motto, the growth that it was Evanston in 2019, and today there are over 100 localities that have taken a first step towards reparations for their community.
Wow, that's a lot. I'm glad that the number is growing. Eventually, every nation or every state is going to adopt this.
Former City Councilor Robin Rue Simmons spearheaded reparations here in 2019. $10 million to be spent over 10 years, funded by taxes on newly legalized cannabis sales and by real estate transfers. So far, 16 recipients, $25,000 each.
Yeah, that's not a whole lot, but at least it's a start. They're starting somewhere. Hopefully, they will get more.
The country would not approve nothing like that.
Lou Weathers wasn't just surprised.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Shocked.
Yeah.
Weathers used his $25,000 to reduce his son's mortgage here in Evanston.
Well, anytime you reduce your mortgage payment is going to be lower. His bills are going to be lower. He can use the money for other things.
I had said it from the beginning that we were not.
What the state also needs to do is get some funds to pay for people's housing or give them reduced mortgage rates, just like white people had got in the past.
Not going to see this money at all.
But hairdresser Donna Walker was wrong.
Some people did see it, and I'm very happy that they did. And I'm happy that the elders are able to, pay taxes on their home, fix it up.
Walker's next-door neighbor, fellow hairdresser Gigi Giles, is on the waiting list for funds that will come in future years. So you figure you will get it eventually?
Eventually, if not, my grandchildren or my daughters will get it.
What will you do with the money?
I would fix up my home. I would do my kitchen and my 2 bathrooms.
Can you do that for 25 grand?
I'd make it work.
Initially.
Yeah, these people are definitely not getting the amount of money that they deserve for the discrimination and all that they've experienced. But maybe it'll increase.
Initially, reparations money only counted towards housing-related projects, mortgage payments, home improvements, or a down payment. In March, Evanston City Council added the option of direct cash payments.
Yeah, that's what they deserve, direct cash payments. Let these people use the money the way they want to use it.
Some had felt that a restricted grant was demeaning. Recipients should be able to do what they want with the $25,000.
Most of us here can't even afford to live here.
Like Donna Walker.
If you give me something, you can't tell me how to spend it. So, and it's like, you know, you have people like, well, what are they going to spend it on? Man, I'm going to buy Newports and a Cadillac. Come on, really?
Yeah, why should other people get to dictate how the recipients of reparations get to spend their money? Black people didn't get to dictate how white people spent their money.
Newport cigarettes, that is.
And a lot of that money they got off of the exploitation of black people.
Lou Weathers, though, prefers housing investment.
Anytime you have grants and stuff like that, two sides have to get something out of it. The city making people improve their property helps me because I own property. That's going to increase my value of my property.
Now, not everyone in Evanston is pro-reparations, of course.
I don't think it's a good idea. There are people who need help. The help should not be predicated on someone's race, creed, color, orientation.
A local businessman.
It's not. It's predicated on the fact that the government oppressed these people and marginalized them, and now the government is trying to uh, make recompense with the crimes that was committed in the past.
Man, who called us later trying to take back the interview. A bit late, but as a courtesy, no name or face.
We had laws that were against the Chinese, and those were enforced from around like 1883 to 1943. So if we go by that standard, well, then we owe the Chinese recompense, we owe the Japanese even more recompense, and there comes a point where we're a flawed society. I think the thing we need to do is move forward.
No, yeah, we do owe the descendants of Chinese Americans that suffered under the American laws. Same with the Japanese Americans that were put into internment camps, German Americans, Italian Americans, because that's justice.
Evanston Mayor Daniel Biss wasn't surprised to hear of the reluctance to say this on camera.
I do think people feel like if I come out and say reparations is a dumb idea, we should not do that, I'm just not going to make a lot of friends. I'm not going to gain a lot of support.
But reparations champion Simmons says taking a stand means ignoring the blowback, no matter how unpleasant it's been to see what she herself has received online.
It's the ghetto lottery or, you know, you monkey, you slave, and go back to Africa, that type of stuff.
But the overall reaction, at least in this liberal city, according to the liberal mayor,
it's something that we're enormously proud of. I think it's an important step. One might argue a partial step or an inadequate step, but still a really important step toward both on a factual level, reckoning with our past, but also creating the concrete equity that our community has been talking about for probably 4 or 5 generations, but has never really fully realized.
Is the pride pervasive? I asked our camera-shy businessman. So if roughly half the population are white, what proportion of those people do you think don't think this is a good idea? Think as you do.
You don't even bring it up because people are afraid to really express their thoughts. So I wouldn't be able to give you an honest answer.
Yeah, no one cares if racist people are afraid to express their racist thoughts. That's good. Let them keep their racist thoughts to themselves.
At nearby Northwestern University, Professor Al Tillery is studying the response to the reparations initiative.
We've so far gotten about, close to 4,000 respondents, people writing in.
So he doesn't have results yet. But although in nationwide polling, few whites are in favor,
I don't think we're going to be at the 15% for where white people are nationally. I think we're going to be much higher than that. Will we be over 50% with our white population? I don't know.
50%
in support, and so who approve? Yeah, I mean, if we found between 30 and 50% approve, I think that would be like finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I mean, that nowhere else will it have been so high.
And so where does the program go from here?
So over the course of time, more revenue is going to come in both through the cannabis and also through the real estate transfer tax that'll allow more grants to be allocated. There's a long waiting list of ancestors. Behind them is a long waiting list of descendants. And behind them are a lot of other people in this community who were mistreated or whose ancestors were mistreated by the city government through policies the city government deliberately enacted, and we have a lot of work to do.
Just to deal with the 600 or so applicants thus far. especially, says the mayor, in a city now so pricey, many blacks can't afford to stay, like Dwayne Logan at Gigi Giles' salon.
I'm from Evanston, but I don't currently live in Evanston now because the taxes were so high that I had to buy a house in Skokie.
Right, says Simmons, because blacks were never able to build generational wealth, which is why she was inspired to push for reparations.
I was looking at the race gaps in every area. I was looking at the loss of black community, residents leaving almost every day because of lack of affordability, not feeling a sense of place, going to other communities where they felt more hopeful and opportunity. The black experience in this city and in this nation has been in a state of emergency since we were kidnapped from West Africa and brought here. And so it is time to do something radically different than we've done in the past, and reparations is that answer.
About time, says Gigi Giles.
People want to see money. Money talks. And then they probably would be happy, but, you know, it is what it is. It's a start.
And she's still living here and running the business her father started 60 years ago. For the PBS NewsHour, Paul Salman,